Welcome back. We're going to do something a little different today. We got some welding to do. We got that panel made up. I need to weld some supports on to hang that to. We've seen the booger welds before. I can weld. I can make metal stick together. But what we're doing, it's a little different, is I was given a $40 temu welder. Donated to the channel. I don't do reviews. I don't know. It's not my thing. But we're going to do it today. We got this thing. So, thanks Mike for hooking us up with this. Well, I won't thank you yet because we haven't welded with it. This fucking thing. So that's an X-Quart. Yeah. You stick your welding rod in there. Power switch, I guess, in that. And we got some safety things. 1.6 to 2.5 millimeter focus. We got a little knob. We're just we're gonna put that on 5 and leave it there forever. So I've never seen one of these. We're going to see what it'll do. Came with a chipping hammer, wire brush. So yeah, that's quality. That's cool. Nice-ish case. And this thing, we're not going to use this. This is like an IKEA flat pack welding mask. And that thing clips in there, and it's got a handle. And we're not going to use this. I'm going to use a real welding hood because I don't mind getting burned or even zapped a little bit, blinded. Not really my cup of tea. It's got some instructions that we're not going to read. Yeah. So, let's get into it. Let's spin you around. Yeah, that's not too bad. So, we got these angles. We're going to stick one here like that. The other one's going to come over here, and then that panel's going to go up there in between them. So, let me switch my grinder over. We're going to clean these angles up. We're going to clean that up, give this the best chance of working that we can. I'll readjust this, and we'll plug this thing in, see what happens. So the alternative, this thing was, I think it was $40. And that's pretty inexpensive if this thing works all right. It is polarized, but it doesn't have the ground. That's a short cord. It does not have like a ground lug, so. Oh. Okay, it's got a cooling fan showing power on. It says that it'll put out 120 amps, and that's a lot. Now it did come with 3 welding rods, and these are J422, which I have never heard of. Internet search tells me that the AWS equivalent to these would be a 6013. 6013 rods, I do know, those are an all polarity, all position rod. So these rods should weld this fine. All polarity I don't know if this makes AC power, if it is DC electrode positive, DC electrode negative. But apparently these rods will weld any of those processes, so they'll jive for this. So we could run 6013 in here, I think. 6012 also, and maybe 6010 rods. But we'll stick with these. 6013 is a very nice rod. It's very forgiving. What I'm going to do first is this little tear out we had. I'm just going to weld that up. It's a nice flat thing, so we're going to try that. So let me get my hood. Let's see what happens here. I will say that on top of the $40 that this thing costs, you should probably go ahead and factor in, even if it's a cheap, not auto darkening, just a flip down hood with a shade 10, I probably wouldn't use that little handheld Halloween mask looking guy. Oh, let's give it all the opportunity, get a good ground. Okay. That's already pretty awkward. Okay, that's a pretty smooth arc. I just blew a bigger hole in, but you know. That's not too bad looking, actually. Let's just, where's that piece of plate that I chopped off this? Let's maybe just weld a V. That's good, right up near the gas tank. Okay, so let's come down here. This is kind of what I was expecting. So that's a pretty tall caterpillar, boy. Focus. You know what? Let me just flip this. Alright, our test passed. You can see that's pretty tall, pretty undercut. That's not burned in super well. This plate's pretty thick, but I'd like to see it wetted out a bit more. I don't think she's got the oomph for that. So I wouldn't weld. I don't know what 2.5 millimeters is. I'm gonna say this guy's for thinner sheet metal. So let's get you back up. Let's get our angles on. Okay. Well, that's kind of stuck. This thing sucks. Wow, that's hot. Huh. That's not super good. Well, let's look at what happened here. We're here to learn, right? Oh, there we go. We get a pointer here. Yeah. So, this looks all right. We tied in okay. But if we come over here, it didn't really bite into that angle iron very good. This side, because there was a little gap, man, it just piled up. It didn't enjoy that at all. So maybe this is an unfair test. This isn't really good material. This is just some bullshitty stuff. I did get all the galvanized off of this frame. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna try it again. I'm gonna grind this up and maybe try to get that a little more square so that there's no gap. We'll give this another shot. So stand by. Alright, so we don't have a gap that time. This time, let's try again. I don't know. That bit of tack burnt into there. That bit of tack stuck on there. This does not inspire confidence. Now it's just eating through my angle iron. Let's turn it down, maybe? The problem here is it's just eating my garbage angle iron. So I'm going to throw this whole video away to go find better angle iron, because this is not very fair. That's that. Okay, took a few days. We're back at this. We're going to change two things to get this mounted up. The first one, and I think it's the big deal, is we're going to swap this junk angle that I had laying around down here for some proper mild steel. It is a little thicker, but that's not the reason we picked this. The reason I grabbed this, that you can't see, it's off frame. This metal, it's not bed frame, but it's bed frame adjacent. And if you've ever tried to do a project with old bed frame angle iron, it'll ruin your drill bits, tear the teeth off your saw blades. It's very hard, very brittle. And I was getting good welds, but our material itself was breaking off above the weld, right at the edge of the heat affected zone. It was getting super brittle and just shattering. So going with some actual mild steel with a known flavor is going to help prevent that. Also, this little welding kit came with J422 welding rods, which is not an AWS standard. And because I'm an American and my analytics tell me most of you are, the J422 doesn't mean anything. Some internet searching says that it's kind of the same thing as a 6013, and it only came with 3, so they're gone. So went out, bought a box of actual 6013 rods. So let's try this again with better material, and I won't go so far as to say better rods, but at least rods that I know and understand, if that makes sense. Okay, we're plugged in. Ground is grounded. Fresh. Turn it on? I didn't turn it on. Okay, that's a little smoother. It's definitely stuck that time. This might be the worst chipping hammer I've ever seen. I'm going to turn it up a little. Okay, a little smoother. We're going to find a different tool. That one's pointy out there. That'll be better. Well, it's definitely stuck. Do I bring you down and show you this, or just weld the other one? I think I'm just going to weld the other one. What is going on? Alright, that's stuck. Yeah. Oh, that's rounded. That'll be fine. Actually, where'd the little wire brush go? Threw that somewhere. You saw it. Did it go over my shoulder? Or did I throw it in there? The chipping hammer sucks, but the wire brush is nice. So it's welded. This will work. But I gotta know, can I multi-pass with it? So I'm gonna try to run a 3-beat down here on this corner. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if, let's just go ahead and give her 5, whatever that is, and see if it'll wet out if we can do a 3-beat. I think it's getting hot. It smells hot. All right. I think we're kind of getting the hang of her here. Whoa, that's a gap. All right, we'll shut this thing off and we'll spin you around, get you down here, and take a look at all this. So here we go. The starts are a little cold. We do have a little porosity here, but like I said, not that I'm too worried about. It doesn't like to maintain, oh, focus. It doesn't like to maintain any kind of arc length. Let me see, we got a little pocket here. Focus, you, there we go. These aren't beautiful welds. This is not my best work, but those things are attached. So we can move on with the next step. So what do I think of this X-Cort Discover Your Power Green Line for Home welder? I don't know. So for 40 bucks, it welds. And if you've just got little projects like this, with some practice, it's going to weld your shit. It's going to hold your stuff together. We're going to use this. You'll see this again just to play with. It is convenient. I mean, it plugs in anywhere and throw your ground on and it will weld. These rods are AC and DC, electrode positive and negative. So these will, you can stick these in any kind of machine and they're going to weld. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is AC. If it's DC, it's not switchable. Obviously, I can't swap the hot for the ground to do electrode positive or negative. So if we could figure that out, we could try some different rods with it on some different materials. 7018 would be nice. That's going to be way happier to do the multi-passes like this. 6010 would be nice because it, 6010's a little better with kind of some of our junk material that we use. But, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're looking for some little home projects like this, I don't know what 2.5 millimeter is. I'd say probably 3/16. is as thick as I would go. That's about what that is. If you've got, you got some mower shit you need to weld, or fix your little wagon, repair your mower deck, I probably wouldn't weld an axle on a trailer with it. But if you just got to stick some little brackets on something, yeah, I think it's fine. For 40 bucks, you'll be 10 bucks into your consumables, which you're going to need anyways. It comes with 3 rods. That's not really enough for most projects. Yeah, I'd spend 40 bucks on it. You're definitely going to want a real welding hood, and you can pick a non-auto darkening rig up for next to nothing, yard sale, garage sale. I would not use that mask that comes with it, just because that's going to be awkward. It is a little weird to use. If you're used to welding with a proper welder with a stinger, the whole power drill form, that's going to take some practice. But if you're just getting into welding, or you got 1 or 2 little projects around the home to do, yeah, you could do worse than this. So you'll see this again. Like I said, we're gonna see exactly what it'll do. We're gonna run it until it won't run anymore. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to move on with the next steps of this. I'd like it done today, and that'll be a different video. This was supposed to be like a 5-minute review of this guy. I got a lot of editing to do, but thanks for stopping by. Thanks, Mike, for donating the Temu welder. It welds. See you guys next time with the next project.